due to some political nonsense that has absolutely nothing to do with me.
Hmm.
Um, couldn't go back to fight ready. So, but I really love Arizona, and I know they got a good camp over here, and I've known John Crouch and Cannonier.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. Let's start with getting that pay-per-view spot, man. You got the first fight of the night on the pay-per-view. How do you feel about that?
It's cool. They knew what they were doing, you know. Barriault has a style I think is very similar to mine. He comes forward, he's looking to throw hands, and has in mind.
Definitely, and he's like one of Canada's best. You going into not really enemy territory. I don't think Canada's considered enemy territory for
Yeah,
anybody, right? They're all love up there.
yeah, too crazy.
Just looking at his skill set, though, you break it down. We know he comes in, he tries to finish just like yourself. But when you break it down, skill for skill, what do you see?
Um, obviously, his cardio is probably his best attribute. He's aggressive, he's tough, he's durable. He's got the style to suit what he does. Best. So, I think that I think I'll be the bigger dude, stronger dude. But like I said, he's durable and hard to put away. But you know, I like to throw hands, so it is what it is.
I just want to hop back to your last fight, man. In that fight, or after that fight, actually, you revealed that you overcame some mental hurdles, right? And could you explain more about like what you went through from the start of the camp to getting your hand raised inside the octagon?
Just a bunch of stuff in my personal life, injuries, things like that. There's a fly. Sorry. Uh, yeah. Um, yeah, just little shit like that, and bunch of shit piling up.
And how did that affect you during fight week? I mean, just
Um, I just I thought about. I just kind of like relaxed. Trained, chilled, slept. Just didn't have a. Just kind of put it away. You know, so to
that
speak.
fly's trying to knock you out, huh?
Huh?
That
I
flies
have no
all
idea,
over the
man. We're
place, huh?
headphone over here. Yeah, you just, you have a job to do. So, yeah, get out there and get it done, regardless of all that stuff. Because don't nobody want to hear all that for real. You lost, and that's what it is. Or you won, and now you can say whatever you want to say. You know what I mean?
Mhm. But was it hard to kind of just keep that all bottled in a little? Were you able to talk to somebody
And,
like ahead of that fight?
not, I mean, not really, because I'm just not that kind of, you know,
Yeah.
person. I just train, so I like just train harder, train more, 'cause every time, you start thinking and sliding off track, the one place that, for me anyways, I can go to is the gym, train, and, kind of get through it.
Therapy.
Yeah, hitting the
Yeah.
bag, training, wrestling.
Mhm.
Thinking about the fight, watching fights, or watching my opponent, studying my opponent,
Mhm.
things like that. All kind of take your mind off of everything else. So I think if a lot more people, found something like a passion like that is for me, um, they'd probably be better off.
No doubt. And you got your first finish in a couple of years, so I guess all of that stuff really,
Yeah.
accumulated and,
Poor
and helped
Kyle,
you out, right?
I had to take it out on somebody.
Exactly. And how good was it for you to get that off, get that hump off your back in a way? You know what I mean? Because we know you're violent and you go in there and you throw hands heavy, and just to be able to finish the fight. You know what I mean? Instead of going to the decision and kind of putting it up in the air, because sometimes it doesn't work out too good for some fighters.
Yeah, sure. Well, you don't get paid by the hour, so the faster you get in, get it done.
Mm.
The better it is, the less wear and tear it is on your body, and all of that other good stuff that comes with the fight. So, yeah, obviously that's what people want to see. I think he had to finish his last fight. I had to finish my last fight. That's probably why we're opening up the main card. If I had a decision my last fight, maybe I'm on the prelims or whatever. So at the the internet looks at you in a different light when you finish fights. Matchmakers, promoters, everybody looks at you different when you have a finish. Now, I'm not saying like you can't be an entertaining fighter or have an entertaining fight without a finish, but that's what everybody aims for. That's what the goal is.
And usually, if you're an entertaining fighter without finishes, you're pretty much taking a lot of damage. Some guys are,
Yeah,
right? There's a lot of guys like that.
myself included. There was a stretch there where I was getting hit a lot. So I try to put more of an emphasis on hitting them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, you have 15 fights in the UFC. You have a couple main events that you've had. You've been on the main card a bunch of times. Has the anxiety of fighting changed over the years for you?
I think you just learn to with experience. You learn to manage it better. Like I think the more you do it, the older you get, the more you get to know yourself. There's probably not a situation that I haven't been in at this point. So yeah, I think you get better with age, experience, and all these things that you fall back on. Like not even during just the fight, like training camp. Like I did this too much, or I trained too much, or I was, whatever, lifted too much, or didn't run enough, or whatever it is that you're always tinkering, trying to find the perfect formula to have your best performance.
Do you still get anxiety ahead of even sparring days? Because some fighters, they tell me even sparring days, sometimes it doesn't get to them, but they feel it. They're like, "Oh, damn, I'm about to go in there,
Yeah, well, I
do some
mean,
work."
you're taking it up a notch. So but at this point, it's like I've accepted that, especially getting ready for a fight because you're working against you're usually somebody mimicking your opponent, so you're getting used to a style. You know what I mean? And also putting together your game plan, especially early in the camp. It's like, this, particular combination may not be as smooth, and then you smooth it out over camp. And training and stuff. Usually, if I'm not fighting, I don't spar as much, so it's a little bit more play sparring, not going, hard. But obviously, getting ready for a fight, you got to train like your nervous system to be fast, so really see where your cardio's at. So you have to go a little bit harder.
How does it feel to when like you just mentioned about you're working on certain combinations and certain movements to overcome your opponent, and it's not working out so well in the beginning of camp, but when you get into let's say week 7, 8, and it's smooth, and do you watch it on film too? Do they film it and do you watch
Yeah,
yourself?
absolutely.
How does that feel, man, to see that transform into that?
Yeah, it's cool. When you see kind of the light bulb turn on, so to speak. It's like, okay, all right, finally, boom. My time, getting your timing right is really, really what it is. Because the combinations, you just, but you're getting the timing, you're seeing things better. Getting more comfortable with, you know, uh, your game plan, so to speak. But I've been doing that my whole life. That's what we did for football, train. Essentially wrestlers call it drilling. We call it practice, in football. You running plays, they have a scout team, so to speak. And yeah, so I like that formula.
For sure. And going back to the anxiety, when you compare that to high level football, right? Like you've been under the bright lights over there as well. What are the differences?
There's a big difference. You know, well, football, there's more plays, not one mistake is going to kill you,
Yeah.
Dude, I've been, jacked up and pancaked in a game, and it's cool. Someone picks you up, brush off your back. In fighting, that same something similar happens. It's over with. You're done. The margin of error is so much smaller, and there ain't nobody else to fall back on. I can miss the tackle, and then the safety go get them. But if I miss the tackle, in fighting, I'm laying on my back. What happened? So yeah, the margin of error is there's much bigger consequences.
Did that ever get into your head a little too much where you were thinking too far ahead when, in fighting?
Nah, no, not at all.
Alright.
I mean, you be trying to, go out there. That's the guy you got to fight. You can't be thinking about 2, 3 fights from now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Um, have you been traveling since the last fight to train? Because I noticed you go here and there from time to time.
Yeah, yeah. I like to go and like pick the brain of coaches and other training partners and people who may be better or have a different, particular skill set than me. I went up to Marquez MMA, trained with all those Philly guys up there. Tough room.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough room. Fusion XL. Probably been a few other places, but I've been down in Brazil, trained with Andre Muniz. Yeah, all over the place. Yeah.
Wow, a lot of former opponents, man. Because Marquez, you grappled against two of their
No, no,
guys.
no. The Philly guys is John Marquez's gym.
Yeah, but in grappling though,
Oh,
like
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Josky
yeah,
and Piper,
yeah. Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's a
That's
bunch of guys over there, and Muniz, you fought him. You know what I mean? So it's
but to be honest, that's what makes me want to go train because
oh,
obviously they're better grapplers than me. So
mm.
why not go train with them, learn what it is that they was just smashing me with.
Yeah, that's one thing that I noticed also is recently that you've been dabbling in the grappling world a lot more. And was there any like particular moment where you decided like, okay, I gotta go focus more on my grappling? And you had great defensive wrestling in your last fight as well. You showed that.
Yeah, I just like to. They just Fury hit me up, Cage Fury, and hit me up about grappling. I was like, all right, whatever. And but it's fun. Um, they pay too, so and it's just something to like stay active. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You want to stay sharp in between fights and not get too relaxed. So it's just like live bullets for me.
Training camp for this one. Where are you working now?
I'm over at the lab, the
Okay.
MMA Lab here in Phoenix.
Okay. Okay. So when'd you make that switch?
This is my first camp with them.
Okay. So how did you connect with them for this one leading up to, this
Um,
pay-per-view?
I due to some political nonsense that has absolutely even nothing to do with me.
Mhm.
Um, couldn't go back to fight ready. So, but I really love Arizona, and I know they got a good camp over here. And I've known John Crouch and Cannonier and all those guys over there for a while, just from fighting on the same card and just being around each other. So,
Yeah.
I reached out to Crouch and whatever, and now I'm here.
There you go, man. Hey, MMA Lab, it's a phenomenal team, man. Phenomenal coaches over there. And I was talking with Vanessa as well, and she left Fight Ready, and she said something out of her hands as well that she had to
Yeah,
leave, and she was,
yeah.
I was just like,
She's a
I hate to see
casual.
that happen to fighters. You know what I mean? They getting caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, there's casualties of egos, essentially.
There you go, man. There you go. So who have been your main guys? Cannonier probably, right? Helping you out a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
over there.
and he's got a fight coming up next
Exactly.
week after me as well. Fighting another lefty. I'm fighting a righty,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
kind of like it works out.
Iron sharpens iron right there, boy.
Right.
Right, right. That's nice. It's good to see, man. You found a nice spot, and you must really love Arizona as well, man. Because you went from one
It's
Arizona, and you're not
beautiful
even
out
from
here.
Arizona.
Nah, but I can't. I've been coming out here for a while.
Mhm.
My brother lived out here or lives out here, and I even used to work for the Army, and Boeing and Lockheed Martin were contractors. So I've been in love with Arizona for a while. Now I have a reason to come.
Great, man. And this one, man, it's a good spot, man. You coming off a really good win. You get on the pay-per-view. Like, what are you expecting out of yourself? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of performance?
I'm looking to build off the last one. I think the last one was a pretty good performance, probably one of my better ones. And I think if I do better than I did in the last fight, then this is a W for me.
For sure. And you get the platform as well, right? You get on the mic. It helps you a lot, right? I think a lot of people don't understand like how much that can help you, if you could get
Yeah,
on the
sure.
mic after, especially on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, you call your shots. You can call out
Mhm.
your opponent. People connect with you a little bit more. I think more people listen um, than fighters think. Even
Yeah.
if it's at a bar, they're reading you know, the little thing, the little closed
Subtitles.
captions or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, subtitles. So yeah, it's your moment, your mic. You say what you want, promote yourself how you want.
Mhm.
Whatever.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of fighters get like a lot more following on social media from that type of platform, right? Have you
I,
noticed that yourself?
yeah, I think because like when they watch a fight, oh, he's a fighter. They don't even probably even see you as human, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they tell you, you know, you're on your back, they tell you just get up, or I would have just did this, you know what I'm saying? They don't, you know what I mean? But then like when you get on the mic, I think you connect as a human. It's like, oh damn, you know, Eryk got shit going on in his life too, like me. You know what I mean? So it or whatever it is, you know. Some people are funny, some people call their next shot or whatever, you know. It's whatever. I think it's just an opportunity to let your personality uh, shine a little bit. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. You might have to call out Dean Thomas, huh, in this one.
He already knows what's up. It's live bullets, man.
um, one other thing, man, I wanted to ask you about is two of your former opponents, right? Thiago Santos and Krzysztof Jotko. They both left the UFC. They went and fought in the PFL. Both of them popped dirty for their first fight. Did you see that news? Did you check that
I
out?
did, yeah. Um, it doesn't matter to me, dude. You know, I just feel like, of course, it's an event. I don't even know if they were on it when I fought them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it is what it is. You know, if they were, if they weren't, don't know, don't care. And I still feel like I could have won both those fights, and I think it was more of a tactical error more than like a strength advantage, a speed. You know what I mean? Like they both felt human. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't feel like I've never done steroids, but I would assume like you would get like I don't know. I don't even know what they got caught with, what they were doing. So like, what advantage would they have had anyways?
No, to me it's crazy because Thiago Santos got one of those like 50 clean test jackets. And
Yeah.
then the first fight outside the UFC he pops for something, you know. To
Well,
me, it's
maybe
like
that.
the delusion of like how clean this sport is. I think some people
Yeah.
have. It's not as clean as people think. That's what I'm
Like I
just.
said, like I don't know if he was on it
Mhm,
then, and then thought like the testing rules would be
mhm,
different for PFL or whatever. I don't know the situation,
mhm.
like the whole.
Yeah.
He knows what's up. I don't, but so I don't care. I don't like hold no grudge or you know what I'm saying. I'm not salty
Mhm,
about it or
mhm.
anything like that. You know, I'm gonna keep it moving.
And I noticed one thing on your Instagram, like you were pranked, right? And I just wanted to get your thoughts on like these pranksters out there, man. Are they going too far, man? Some of them.
I mean,
That guy that pranked you, he doesn't really go too far, but I'm saying like there's some
yeah,
kids out there they're getting wild.
yeah, you know. I mean, I think if you're just like making a joke, you ain't putting your hands on nobody or touching nobody or you know, if you're just like boo or like what that guy did, that's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But in the moment, like for a second, yeah, I'm mad. But he kept his distance, so even if I would have came at him, like he'd have some time to like, it's a joke, it's a joke, you know. But yeah, some people like I've seen like you know the dude dressed as a mannequin and somebody walks by and he throws a box and hits him in the head. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's like real or not, but I wouldn't appreciate that. You know
Nah.
what I mean? I'm
Nah.
not saying I beat the dude up or nothing, but you know I would understand if somebody did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's funny, but then at the same time, thinking like someone's gonna get killed. Like that's what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
You
You don't
know.
know who you're. They don't know who they're. You know what I'm saying? It's a complete stranger. You don't know if that
Yeah.
person's crazy. You don't know if they have a gun, short fuse, temper, what. You know what I'm saying? Best
Yeah.
case scenario, or, you know, of course, that getting shot is worst case. But like, what if he slaps you, hits you, beats you up? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well,
You
best
might
case
be
scenario is
reacting.
what you did. You just walked up and be like, "Oh, okay, it's a prank." You
Well,
know, it's all good.
my kids knew who he was though.
Yeah.
That's the thing though. Like I was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And my kids were like, "Oh, that's you know him." I was like, "Yo, all
Yeah.
right." So he got to be like, I knew right then and there he had to be like, you know, fucking with me because he's like, "Oh, my kids are like, oh, he's got like 25 million YouTube followers or
You had
uh,
no idea who he was, huh?
not a clue, not a clue."
Me either. When I saw that video, I had no idea who that guy was, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
I
but the
noticed that
kids
your
know who
kids
he
knew
is.
who he was. Yeah, the kids know. That's that probably saved him. I'm just, you know,
Yeah,
just
well, yeah, they got excited, so I'm just like, yo, how y'all know this dude? Like, who is this guy? You know what I
for
mean?
sure. Well, anyways, man, there's no pranking, man. June 10th, UFC 289 on pay-per-view. Eryk, thank you so much, man, for the time. All the best in the fight. You know, you made some changes, and you know, when people make changes, a lot of people will try to, you know, point to those changes, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. Let's see what you can do.
Sure.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, appreciate it, brother. Thank you.